Hey friends, and welcome to the Girl Means Business podcast. I'm your host, Kendra Swalls, a photographer and educator on a mission to help you find your passion, power, and purpose through entrepreneurship. So let's jump right into today's episode because this girl means business. Hey guys, and welcome back to the Girl Means Business podcast. Thank you so much for being here again this week. If you've been listening to these episodes for a while, welcome back. If you're brand new, I'm so excited to have you here. This week, we're going to go into a question that I get asked quite a bit when it comes to my coaching clients or people that I'm chatting with in different areas, talking about business. And that is, can you run your business successfully? Can you grow your business without social media? This is a big one because I know it's something we've all probably thought of. I posted a reel recently where it was like kind of in jest, but it was an Instagram reel all about how, don't be surprised if one day I delete Instagram and run off to the mountains to live off the grid, because there are days that definitely sounds tempting. It can feel like you're on this hamster wheel of content creation and trying to do all the things and be on the platforms, and you're 24/7 trying to engage and promote and connect and build community and all the things. It's so exhausting at times. So I understand the question and why it gets asked quite a bit. So I really wanted to dive into this topic this week and look at what are some options. What are some ways to either build your business without social media or to have a really good sort of harmony between using social media for your business, but not letting it consume you. So when someone asks me that question, can I build my business or grow my business without using social media? My initial response is yes, because businesses have been growing for decades before this without social media. If you think about it, social media is a relatively new marketing technique. And businesses have been doing just fine without social media for years. I know my family had a family business as I was growing up, and it was a generational family business. And so they had adjusted their marketing to whatever was working at the time. When my mom and my dad were running it and my family was taking it over, they were really into like print advertising and hosting events and becoming sponsors of other things. And, for a while, newspaper ads and things like that, where telephone book ads were really important. So for years, businesses have grown without the help of social media. So it can be done. There are definitely strategies that you can utilize. However, I say that with a little bit of an asterisk, because when you are growing a business, you do have to utilize the marketing strategies that are most effective at the time that you're building your business. A perfect example of this is the telephone book. My kids these days have never seen a telephone book, or if they have, they don't know really what it is. Nobody utilizes the yellow pages anymore. And so for me to build my business or market my business and put time, energy, and money into an ad in a phone book or even having a listing in the yellow pages is not the best use of my time to grow my business. It's not where I'm going to be found. It's not going to be where my ideal client is looking for me. So you have to know what's working in the moment. And right now, social media is the thing. Everybody's on social media. People are using it in all different capacities. Communities are being created. Businesses are being grown and built, and influencing and all that goes into social media. It's the thing right now. Now, will that change in a few years? It could. That's part of being in business, is staying up to date with what is new. There's text message marketing, there's, messenger marketing and bots and all these other things that are happening. And so that while there are some consistent marketing strategies that are outside of social media that we can talk about today, you almost have to be willing to grow and evolve as your marketing changes. Again, I go back to the idea of the business that my parents were in. And, they kind of took over when I was about 6, 7, 8 in that range. And they ran that business until I was in my 30s. And so over the course of that 30-year span, they had to change up their marketing with what was going on. They stopped doing ads in the phone book and they started advertising on the side of their delivery trucks. And they would host events and they would sponsor events, and they started taking out ads in other places that their buyers were going to be visiting and looking at. They started getting involved in community events and services and building relationships with other businesses. And so that I take that as an example, because what works today may not work 5 years from now, may not work a year from now. I think about like even with the onset of like Clubhouse. Clubhouse is a new social platform that's audio based. It has been tremendous for a lot of people to grow their business on. That's only been around for less than a year. And so who knows what's going to come along in the next year or two. And that's part of running a business, is you have to be willing to learn new things, and you have to be discerning. You have to be able to say, this is something that I'm willing to invest some time and energy into figuring out, or to say, you know what, I don't think that fits my brand. For right now, a perfect example, if you are a photographer looking for photography clients local to your area, Clubhouse may not be the platform for you, because you're probably not going to go in there and host a room about family photography and have a bunch of moms from your area pop in and want to listen to you talk about that. You're going to be more successful on Instagram. You're going to be more successful with your SEO and website and client referrals. You have to know your business. You have to know your ideal client, where they're spending their time, where they're getting their content and their information, and then base your marketing decisions on that, not on what is the latest shiny thing, but what is going to bring in you more business for where your audience is right now. Okay, so let's get back to that question. Do you need social media to grow your business? If I say the answer is no, then let's look at what are some of the other options that you have available to you. I've mentioned some already. One of them is very basic client referrals. You've already worked with somebody and they share you with somebody else. So I'll use the photography example again. If you work with a client, you photograph her family's photos. She loves them. She tells all of her friends about them. She puts them on her family Christmas card. And people are asking, oh, who is your photographer? And she sends you she sends them your information. Super easy. There are tons of ways you can do client referral programs where you can offer people a discount or a reward for sharing your information when somebody books a session with you or works with you. You can offer to do what I call like a gift card. So you send out your past clients a little gift card that they can gift to somebody else. So somebody gets a discount to work with you or purchase from you, and then you offer a thank you gift of some kind in return to the person who referred you. So client referral programs have been around for a really long time. Loyalty programs are similar too. So I know like there's a ton of stores. I don't know why this comes to mind, but like there's the frozen yogurt shops that have the loyalty cards where if you get your card punched so many times, you get a free, frozen yogurt. Or there's a little boutique that I shop at that they have a loyalty card. And every time you spend $50, they stamp your card. And once you filled it up, you get, $10 off your next purchase or something like that. So those kinds of things are really great to put into practice. Again, it does not have to be just for local, because people will refer things all the time. They will text their friends. They'll post on their social media, even if you're not on social media. They are going to send it into emails to family, or like I said, they'll send out their family Christmas card. Maybe you tell them, hey, if you put on there who the photographer was somewhere at the bottom of your card, and I get clients from that, then I will offer you, a discount on your next session, or I'll send you an Amazon gift card. So client referral programs are a really great way to get exposure. And think about this, guys, if you're looking for somebody to do something for you, so if you're looking for somebody to come fix a leaky faucet in your house, and you just like randomly Google, plumbers in your area, you don't know what you're getting. Okay. You're going to get somebody who either paid to be at the top of Google, or you're going to get a large company. Whereas if you go to your friend and you say, hey, I know y'all had some work done recently. Who did you use? Would you refer them? Then you're probably going to feel a little more confident about your choices. A year ago, we put in a pool in our backyard, And we had looked at all kinds of pool companies. A neighbor down the street from us had just put in a pool right before we were going to. So I went to her and I was like, hey, tell me about your experience. And she gave me their information. She raved about how great they were. I got to see the finished product. And that made a huge factor in who we chose to build our pool for us, because I didn't want just somebody on the internet. I wanted somebody I knew could do a good job. I wanted somebody that had a referral. I already had, someone I knew and trusted was telling me their honest opinion. It wasn't a review I read on the person's website, because we all know we're only going to post the good reviews. It wasn't somebody on an ad commercial telling me how great the company is, because again, they've paid to say that. It was an honest opinion, honest review. Those are kind of these little golden nuggets in business. We always want the people that are going to just completely spread our name and talk about how amazing we are. So client referral programs are a great way to grow your business without social media.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you've been listening to the Girl Means Business podcast for any amount of time, then you know my love of email marketing runs deep. Not only is it a great way to generate new leads, but it's one of the most effective methods for nurturing warm leads and turning them into sales. Now, over the years, I've tested several email platforms, and my favorite by far is Flowdesk. Not only do they make email marketing simple and easy, even for the technically challenged, but they have everything you need to create stunning emails, capture leads, make sales, and automate the entire process, giving you time back in your busy day. And the cherry on top is you're only charged one flat fee no matter how many subscribers you have. So while other platforms will increase your price when you go over your pricing tier limit, Flowdesk has no price increases or hidden fees. If you're ready to give Flowdesk a try, click the link below in the show notes to save 50% off your first year. Let Flowdesk help you design emails people will love. Click the link below and check it out. I have a feeling you're going to love it just as much as I do. Email marketing. Hey, you hear me talk about email marketing all the time because it really is a huge part of doing business. And so if you are wanting to kind of clear out of social media or spend your time in other places, email marketing is great because you are able to take people and put them onto your email list where then you are in their inbox. You are having consistent contact with them. You're building community. You're starting conversations. They're able to talk back to you. It feels way more personal than just posting on social media and kind of blasting it out to everybody. And so the only struggle I see with email marketing is that one of the best ways to grow your email list is to promote a lead magnet over on social media. However, you can do this on your website as well. So if you have a lot of traffic coming to your website, especially if you are like an online boutique, a local business that people are going to go check out like what your services are, anything where people are already going to be looking for you on a website, you can start collecting email addresses through a pop-up or a sign-up bar on your website. But building your email list is going to be a really great way for you to have a community of people that you can reach out to at any time, that you can share value with, you can create connections with, and then turn them into clients, buyers, loyalty, all that kind of stuff. All right. The next one is SEO. This is a big one. So SEO is search engine optimization. It's where do you rank in a Google search, essentially? How do you show up online? So if you have your website and you're thinking, okay, I want to be the first person when somebody searches for my type of business in my area or wherever you're located, I want to be the first one that pops up. Then you're going to have to focus on creating a really strong SEO marketing plan. Now, what goes into that? SEO includes all the things that Google crawlers are going to search for when somebody types in those keywords. So if you're a local hair salon and you're known in your area for being the best hair salon to go to if you want to have extensions put in. So that's what people are going to be searching for. That's what you want to come up on a search for, is when someone searches for, hair extensions in my area, you want to be the first to come up. then you are really going to have to put a lot of energy into your website. Make it look amazing, include a bunch of those keywords. You're going to have to create recurring content. So blog posts, you're going to have to update everything on your website as often as possible. All your images need to include keywords. There's lots of things that you can do. Now, SEO is not a one and done. It's not a create your website, put your content out and be done. You have to constantly, be updating, because when Google sends out its little crawlers, one of the things it's searching for is this website information up to date? So if you want to really rank high on a Google search, then your website needs to be consistently updated. So that might mean weekly you go in and add in new photos or post new content or share reviews or client images, whatever it is, but you're going to have to keep that updated pretty regularly. Another thing that really helps with SEO is because it's tied to Google, you need to have your business listed on a Google business listing and start getting client reviews. Because if someone types in, hair extensions in my area, and there's 5 different businesses around you that do the same thing as you, but you have 10 times as many reviews as they do, and they're good reviews, you're going to show up higher than them. Because Google's like, hey, people are saying that this website, that this business, that they like this business, that they're interacting with it. They took the time to leave a review. So you want to make sure you're really kind of pushing for your clients to go and leave reviews and incentivize them a little bit, give them a reason to go and want to share about you. So that's how you can kind of build that SEO so that you are able to be found quickly in a Google search. This is especially great for local businesses because a lot of times when people are searching online, they're searching specific to their area. All right, the next thing that you can do, which kind of ties into the SEO, is like blogging, Pinterest. Now, I don't consider Pinterest technically a social platform. It's not what I would consider the same as like Instagram or Facebook or Twitter. It's more of a search engine, but it's a visual search engine. So it's a really great way to put a lead magnet out there, put out your blog content, share your website, share tips, things like that, and to direct people back to your home base, which would be your website. So if that's another way you can boost that SEO is if you create content on your website. So going back to the idea of the hair extension hair salon, creating, weekly content where you're putting out like how to care for your extensions. What's the difference between these different types of extensions? How long or short should you go? What can you expect during the process of having them put in? These are all like blog pieces that you could create and then share them over to Pinterest so that people are being directed back to your website. So that's one way that you can kind of boost that SEO and get a little more visibility. Same thing with an email lead opt-in is I'll stick with the same concept here, the hair salon with the extensions. If you're wanting to build your email list, if you're not wanting to utilize social media, you could create an opt-in, a lead magnet of some kind. And instead of blasting it out on social media, you go put it on Pinterest and you pin it several different times with several different graphics, kind of see what works, maybe create multiple opt-ins and push them out to Pinterest. And that way you're getting more traffic, but you are not necessarily having to go blast it over on social media. And the next thing you can do is there's, text message marketing, which we've kind of briefly mentioned before, which is similar to email marketing in that you are going to have to gather text, like phone numbers from potential clients to send out text messages to. You can do collaborations. So you can work with other businesses, either in your niche or similar, like closely related to your niche, so that maybe you both refer each other to your clients to help increase your reach. You could do in-person events. Now that we're back to doing some in-person events, host some in-person events, especially if you're a local business. Now, if you are an online business, it's a little bit harder, but you could do virtual events. You could host little Zoom happy hours or things like that. And then I think you really need to, if you're going to build a business outside of social media, you need to get really good at talking about your business and talking about it often. Because one of the things that we do when we're on social media is we're talking about our business all the time, whether it's through sharing value, giving tips, putting our content out there. It feels like we're always kind of saying like, hey, here we are, don't forget about us. When you take the social media piece out of that, it's easy to forget that we are now the megaphone that needs to push our information out. So if you're going to take and grow your business off of social media, you need to get really good at having that elevator pitch. Get really good at making sure you know exactly how to explain quickly and efficiently what you do and how you help people. You're going to have to network. You're going to have to get out there and make connections with people either in person or other, online formats, and get comfortable bragging on yourself, which is not always the easiest thing to do. And it feels uncomfortable. But if you're going to grow a business out of social media, you're going to have to get better at that. And then if you really, truly are like, I am not dealing with social media, but I really want to grow my business, look into other PR opportunities. So that could include things like features on, network channels, whether it's your local news or specialty shows, getting featured in magazines, those kinds of things. There are lots of people who would do PR for businesses that you could reach out to. You could hire somebody to help you with that, going on to people's podcasts, hosting your own podcast, things like that could also be really helpful. So there's a lot of ways that you can grow your business outside of social media. Hopefully some of those have given you some ideas. Now, when someone asks me, can I grow my business without social media? And my initial reaction is, yeah, of course. But then when I really think about it, and even though I just went through all those things, growing your business using social media makes all those other things a little bit easier. I realize that social media is this love-hate, catch-22 kind of situation where you're like, I know it's free, it's there. There are a plethora of people I could just click a button and are exposed to, but it's overwhelming. It's stressful. It's exhausting. I get it. But building an email list, creating referrals, having an online presence, even with SEO, having a social media accounts helps you with that online presence. Finding people to collaborate with, sharing about any in-person or virtual events, blogging and Pinterest and those kinds of things. All of that has helped and made is amplified more when you're able to use it in conjunction with social media. So before I wrap up, I want to give you some tips because I want you to feel encouraged walking away from this. I want you to think, okay, yes, I can do this. If social media is not my thing and I don't want to invest a bunch of time and energy there, I don't want you to feel like you have to, because I've given you lots of other ways to grow your business. However, if you want to have a little bit of a social media presence, here are some things you can do to make it a little less stressful. 1, pick one platform and stick with that one platform. Okay. Don't feel like you have to do all 50 million platforms available to you. Pick one. Pick the one that your ideal client is going to spend time on. So if you are an online boutique and you sell trendy clothes and you're reaching a millennial audience, you probably need to be on Instagram. If you are a photographer who is wanting to build a community of people in your area, then maybe Facebook's great for you. Create a Facebook group. If you are somebody who is working more in business to business, then you need to be on LinkedIn. So know where your audience hangs out and go with that one platform. It also needs to be a platform that you are going to enjoy spending time on. So for me, I don't enjoy Twitter. I don't enjoy LinkedIn. I enjoy Instagram. So I spend a lot of my time on Instagram. I invest a lot of energy and time in Instagram. However, that one platform, do not allow it to become overwhelming. And the way that you do that is that if you're wanting to use social media, but you wanting to do it at the bare minimum, then do it at the bare minimum. Schedule out posts in advance. Spend one day each month and schedule out content so things are being pushed out to your feed and you're not having to do it more than once a month. Don't overwhelm yourself. I mean, there's tons of things I could tell you to do if you want to grow on social media. That's for a whole different episode. But if you're thinking, okay, Kendra, I want to grow my business. I know having a social media presence is going to help with that, but I don't want to spend all day, every day online. Do the bare minimum. Have visibility. Have that social proof, that proof of life that you're there, you exist, your business is still running, but you're not putting in all of that energy. Example is Instagram. Instagram has all these features. You've got posting to your feed, you've got stories, you've got reels, you have IGTV, you've got, going live, all these things, creating Instagram guides. That's a lot. But if you just do the bare minimum and you post to your feed, at least you have that proof of life. People are going to see you, whether they come to your website and then they hop over to Instagram, or if they Google you and your Instagram comes up, they're going to know, okay, this person's active, their business is active. You have that extra little bump saying, okay, this business is here, that extra little bit of visibility. So just do the bare minimum. So stick with one platform, do the bare minimum, and if all else fails, outsource it to somebody else. So if you're thinking, I really need to be on Instagram, I really need to create a Facebook group, but I can't take one more thing on, hire a VA, hire somebody for a couple hours each month that can go in and, post to Instagram for you, or post into a Facebook group, or create content for whatever it is you want to put out there. You can outsource that. That again will just kind of give you that visibility and that proof of life, but you are not having to do all the work yourself. All right, so that does it for our conversation today around social media. I know this is one that I have had on my mind for a while because I've had a lot of people asking me this question about, can you grow your business without social media? If you have had that same thought, I hope this episode has helped you. I hope it's given you a couple of ideas of maybe things that you could do a little differently, or ways that you can invest your time and energy into things that are going to help you grow your business without the stress and overwhelm and the constant hamster wheel of social media. Or maybe it's helped you to realize that social media really isn't that bad after all, and it's really helping your business. So you can either go one way of the pendulum, or you can swing the other way, or you can be right dead center in the middle. It's your business. You run it the way that you feel comfortable running it. There are going to be people out there who are telling you, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way. Ultimately, this is your business. If you decide that you're going to grow your business with just referrals from other clients, then go rock that. Become the best person at having a client referral program. If you are going to completely build a business on social media all alone, then go rock that. But you have to feel comfortable with your choice in your business. Ultimately, it comes down to what makes you feel good at the end of the day. When you end your day and you think back to yourself, I feel like I was really productive today and I moved the needle forward in my business and I enjoyed it and I got joy from it. Maybe not all of it, but most of it. What is it that's going to do that for you? And then work with that. I tell my coaching clients, I tell people when I talk to them through DMs and instant messages and email messages, that's the biggest thing that I will say is that you have to create a business that you are happy with. Because at the end of the day, if you're not happy with it, your clients aren't going to be happy with it either. So take what you want from this episode, figure out what works best for you, trial and error. Maybe get off social media for a little while and see what happens. I've heard people do this before where they take like a month off of social media. They delete it off their phones. They just kind of go like dark for a little while and they kind of gauge, okay, well, how did that affect my business? Was I still getting clients? Was I still making sales? Was I able to keep going? Or do you find that no, I really kind of miss the social piece of it? So try it, see what happens. That's another thing about business is nothing is permanent. We all have this idea in our head that if we make this choice to be on social media or not be on social media, that it is written in stone and we can never make a change. And that's just not true. Your business is ever evolving. So if you decide today that you are burned out and you need a break from social media, take a little break and see what happens. If you decide that you have been busting your butt on referrals and they're just not working for you, try something else. It's fluid, it's ever evolving. There is no right way, there is no wrong way. It's whatever is best for you and the business that you are building. So I'm going to leave you there on that note, and I will talk to you again soon. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I did. And as always, you can find any links or resources mentioned in today's show down in the show notes. And if we're not friends outside the podcast yet, then what are you waiting for? Come find me on Instagram at Girl Means Business send me a DM letting me know what you thought of today's episode or any of the past episodes you've listened to. You can also take a screenshot of today's episode and post it to your stories, tagging at Girl Means Business, and I'll give you a shout out on my page. I love connecting with you and hearing all about your business and can't wait to get to know you more. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will meet you back here next week, same time, same place.